लिया है, वादा पूरा करना ही है। जीवन का है मर्म बताया, नेक कर्म करना सिखलाया। जीवन का है मर्म बताया, नेक कर्म करना सिखलाया। हमें भी ऊंचे संस्कारों से ये संसार बदलना ही है। दिल का अब संकल्प यही है। दिल का अब संकल्प यही है, बाबा तुम सा बनना ही है। साथ लिया है, हाथ लिया है, वादा पूरा करना ही है। खुद को प्रभु पे करके अर्पण, उजले उजले बन गए दर्पण। खुद को प्रभु पे करके अर्पण, उजले उजले बन गए दर्पण। अब तो हरदम ख्याल यही है, साथ तुम्हारे चलना ही है। दिल का अब संकल्प यही है। दिल का अब संकल्प यही है, बाबा तुम सा बनना ही है। साथ लिया है, हाथ लिया है, वादा पूरा करना ही है। बाबा तुम सा बनना ही है। बाबा तुम सा बनना ही है।
Shanti. Good morning, everyone. I'll just share the screen 1 minute. Can you see my screen, Rakhivan?
No, Sharmila, then we are not able to see your screen.
1 minute. Hmm.
Do you want us to share?
Yeah, okay. Because this is, I mean, it is showing me screen sharing paused.
Now it has started.
Okay.
Now we're able to see.
Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone, once again. So, as we heard this song, our hearts sing this song to Baba, right, every day. And for the last week, we've been listening to the, I think, Apurva, when you can share the screen because it is not showing me. It is saying screen sharing is paused.
Sure, sister. Yeah.
Yeah, so last week, whatever Murlis we read, if you see one common point in all these Murlis was Baba reminded us again and again of our aim, right, of becoming equal to the Father. And Baba said one easy way to become equal to the Father is to follow Father, right? So to follow the Father, so taking inspiration from these Murlis, we have come up with this topic for today, that is follow Father. And you see that follow the Father, which means even in the Sakar Murlis for the last few days, Baba has been talking about being Farman Bardar, right? Or being completely obedient to one Father. So Baba once said, being Farman Bardar means son shows father, to follow the Father in a way that the son shows Father. So how do we do that practically? So there are some methods that I have come up and I'll share with you all today. And definitely there are many more ways that we can follow Father and practice what Baba says in the Murli. But few methods I have highlighted today. And later on, maybe you all can share what ideas you all have. So in our journey to follow Father, I think the first step is, you can change the slide.
I have changed the slide. Is it reflecting?
No, it is not. Mm. Shall I share Apurva and otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, it's not reflecting actually.
Okay, no problem. You stop share.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I log in again because I'm not able to do this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Just give me 2 minutes.
Guess we can see the slide, second slide.
Okay, fine then. Apurva, then you continue then. Okay?
Okay. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for the disturbance.
No problem, Didi.
Yeah, so the first method I feel is awareness. In many of the Avyakt Murlis, you'll see Baba talks a lot about awareness, right? Become an embodiment of awareness, that is Smriti Swarup. So here you will see that I've mentioned about awareness of the self-respect or awareness of the title that Baba gives us. And to remember that this title is being given to us by God Himself, right? So one Avyakt Murli that is dated 30th of May 1971, Baba said that, what is the method to attain success in every task? First of all, take power into yourself through the awareness and then carry out the task. So Baba has emphasized a lot on awareness, saying that awareness is the seed, awareness is the foundation, awareness is the basic effort that we all need to make in our purusharth, in our journey of becoming equal to the Father. So, as Baba also says, that awareness should be powerful. Your awareness makes you powerful. Powerful awareness makes you powerful. That is Smriti se Samarthi, right? It is like if a judge, someone is a judge, and the judge will remember throughout the day, he will have that awareness that he is the judge. But when the judge is sitting on the seat, the awareness will be even more powerful than it is throughout the day, right? So we also never forget that we're a soul, or we are, whatever titles Baba gives us, we are the spinners of the discus of self-realization, we are victorious jewels and all these things. But as Baba says, sit on the seat of self-respect, then the awareness becomes even more powerful. Right? So awareness makes you powerful. And the second abstract that I've taken here is from 2nd January 1990, where Baba says, the seed is awareness. And through the seed, your attitude, vision, actions, and stage completely change. So this is why it is remembered, as is your awareness, so is your stage. So in Hindi, there are very nice rhyming words like smriti, drishti, vritti, kriti, and sthiti. So as is the awareness, so is our attitude, vision, action, and the stage of our mind. So awareness is so important. We all keep listening in the aware bodies. How do we do that practically? What methods can I adopt to keep my awareness awakened all the time? So the different ways to do that is, one is like you can write. You can write the awareness, but not just writing. There are many seniors who talk about writing the self-respect, right? But just writing sometimes becomes monotonous or very mechanical. So writing the self-respect along with the experience of that self-respect, being aware of the self-respect and experiencing that self-respect is important. If you see Brahma Baba's life, Baba also mentioned in one of the Murlis in this last week, what Brahma Baba did, Baba also adopted this method of writing the Swaman or writing the self-respect. And Baba would always write, I am a soul, I am a soul. He wrote in his diary, he wrote on the walls, and he would write even with his relationships, like Jashoda is a soul, Narayan is a soul, right? So उनका नाम लेकर के भी बाबा लिखते थे, so that his awareness becomes firm, and then we all know what kind of drishti Baba had towards each and every one. Even in the alaukic world, Baba had such a alaukic drishti towards everyone that he never saw anybody's past experiences or sanskars, but Baba just saw the light in everyone. So this practice is a very good one and a simple one, that you write the self-respect or whatever you take from the daily Murli or from the Avyakt Murli. and then experience that self-respect throughout the day. How do you do that again? So the second method is to practice that awareness of the self-respect every minute, every hour, 1 minute. Sorry. So you can do that at the regular intervals like we do the traffic control, or else you can do it every hour, 1 minute. This practice is also very beautiful. Earlier, there was a project known as QT, that is quiet time. So we would do this quiet time, that is 1 minute of silence every hour, and that was known as QT. So right now as well, I have started practicing this and keeping a chart of this from 1st November. So from my own experience also, I can say you that this really helps a lot. Keeping silence, observing silence, and reminding yourself of the awareness that you take for yourself at Amrit Vela, and then every hour, 1 minute. When you sit in the awareness of that self-respect, everything changes. I mean, throughout the hour, if you're doing something, if you're busy in something, and your state of mind is engaged too much in the work you're doing, and you forget, I'm a soul, I'm Baba's child, or I forget my connection with Baba. But then when you observe this 1 minute silence, your state of mind changes. Also, if there is a bit of upheaval, or you work with others, you come in contact with relationships, with friends, and then you see, little small things sometimes disturb you. Someone's behavior, the way people work, these things when they disturb, and then this 1 minute silence time comes in and it changes your attitude. It changes your bhavna. So this practice I feel is very important, observing silence at regular intervals. If you can do it every hour, 1 minute, it's very nice. If not, according to your routine, you can set up. And others also begin to cooperate with us. When we follow our routine, others begin to cooperate us. One day, what happened with me was I use this B Zone app. It's a very nice app for this silence of 1 minute every hour. And small 1 minute music plays every hour. So it was around 11 a.m. in the morning, and I was busy doing some work, and this started playing this music. And then I had a thought, no problem, I'll do it later on. I'll just finish this work and then I'll sit for silence in 1 minute. But then, what happened? My niece, she's just 6 years old, but she reminded me, see, your phone is ringing, your alarm is ringing, chalo, yog mein baitho. Then I left that work and sat in silence. So I experienced that, when you follow your routine with discipline, others also begin to cooperate with you. Others will remind you, others will help you to observe that silence for a minute. So this practice also really helps us a lot to enhance, to make this foundation of awareness firm. And then the third thing is you can associate it with different physical activities. Now, for example, if I take that I am a powerful soul, if this self-respect I take for myself at Amrit Vela, so throughout the day, associate it with physical activity, which means I decide for myself that whenever I'll drink water, I'll remember this Swaman, this title. Whenever I eat my food, I'll remember this. Or else, before you make a phone call, before you send an email to anyone. So these are the different yuktis that you can adopt to remind yourself again and again. Why is it important reminding? It is not that we don't know or we forget completely. We know, but then it is not in the emerged form, right? That is why we need to remind. One Avyakt Murli Baba said, keep reminding yourself, keep reminding yourself. सो जाओ तो फिर अपने आप को जगाते रहो. So this is important to enhance the awareness of the self-respect. So associate with some kind of physical activity that you do again and again, and then you remember that Swaman. And the next one is that you churn upon that self-respect, that title you choose for yourself. It can be for a day, for a week, whatever you like. and then churn on that, write, you can write on it, accept that swaman for yourself, and you need to really make it yours, like make it mine. Because Baba to bol raha hai, theek hai. Lekin I really need to accept, like Baba says, you are Mahavir, you're courageous. But do I really feel? Or is it just Baba is saying that is why? Right? So when I churn upon that self-respect and make it mine, then I really feel and experience, yes, I am that courageous soul, I am that victorious soul. So that is why churning on the awareness of the self-respect is also important. So these are the few things you can do throughout the day to keep your awareness of the title in an emerged form, right? And these are the examples that I have taken here from the last week's Murli. If you see what 5 or 6 Murlis we read in the last week, Baba talked about the awareness of the incorporeal form, awareness of your elevated form throughout the cycle, awareness of the 3 thrones, you remember? So these are the different swamans or self-respects that you can pick up from the daily Murli or the blessing that Baba gives in every day's Murli. Right? So this is the first and the most important method I feel to follow Father. It is to remain in the awareness of what Baba is telling us every day. Then the next method is visualization method. Visualization is that whatever Baba talks to us in the Murli, you relate it with a physical image. You visualize it in a way that you can relate it physically, which means कोई imaginary image नहीं होना चाहिए. But then, for example, Baba, in one of the Avyakt Murlis, Baba said, with the pen of thought, draw your picture. Draw your picture that you're sitting on the throne of self-sovereignty, and then in the future on the throne of the world sovereignty. And then he said, second thing, now with the pen of your thoughts, visualize or see this picture that you have in the tilak. So as I say, you all can visualize, right? You're sitting on the throne, you're having the tilak, and you're having the crown, double crown, the crown of the kingdom and the crown of the light of purity. So Baba has talked about this technique a lot in many of the Avyakt Murlis, that visualize whatever Baba says, because our mind accepts visuals more easily, right, than just thoughts and concepts. So Baba also wants us to think in the form of images. And that is why he tells us about this technique. And many researchers, many psychologists have emphasized a lot about this technique, and this is being used in the world of science as well. So for example, in the next slide, I've shown few images, like if you all can just make out from the image, you can make out, or if you take up a point for a day for yourself, you create an image in your mind and keep visualizing that. Bring that picture again and again on the screen of your mind. For example, last Monday, Baba, in the Avyakt Murli we read, Baba talked about swing, swing in the swing of happiness, swing in the swing of love. So keep swinging, remain untouched by the mud, he said. So see yourself literally on the swing, swinging with Baba, or sitting in Baba's heart, or once Baba said, sitting under the tree, in the roots of the tree, and giving everyone, to each and every leaf, your vibrations, whatever treasures you have, keep donating those treasures, sitting under the tree with the seed at the root level. So this technique is so important because it also increases your concentration level. It makes it easy for us to achieve our goals. Okay, and then it is like, it is when you take up a thought for a day, it is like a corn, a corn, and then when you cook that corn, it becomes a popcorn. It becomes light, no? And when it becomes a popcorn, you can enjoy that, you can eat it, right? You can have it, otherwise you cannot. Similarly, visualization technique makes the awareness or the whatever point from the Murli you take for yourself, it makes that easy for us. You create that picture, you experience that, it becomes easy to be that. So that is why this is one technique. And if you, from the picture, as I said, you can make out, like, for example, this is the examples I've taken from the last week's Murli. Okay. So visualization technique is can also be used to prepare yourself in a particular situation, how you should respond. Right? Like Baba used to make this practice from the dadis and all, jeete ji marna, So Baba would ask them to lie down with the white shawl on themselves. So see this image that you've left this body and everything is very peaceful and you're just flying happily with Baba. So this is one example. So in a particular situation, whatever situation you expect to come or you think today you might have this situation. So you visualize yourself beforehand, how would be your response to that situation? And then that becomes a reality. So visualization is the another method that helps us to follow what Baba says in the Murli. Then the next method is to remember a key word throughout the day. If you remember one Murli last week, Baba talked about remembering the word return. That we are on return journey now and we need to give return of Baba's sustenance, right? So you take up one word from the Murli and then keep remembering that word throughout the day. Keep churning on that word throughout the day. So how do you churn? Few points I have just suggested. Everyone has a different way of churning. But then when you take up a keyword, you can think of what is the significance of that word. Not just what Baba said in the Murli, of course that is important, but what does that word or that point means to me? How will I bring it into practice for myself? How will I bring it into practice for others? What intoxication this point is? What benefit do I gain from this practice? Etc. So similarly, you can churn on a point you take for yourself throughout the day. And churning, it doesn't take a separate time. Like yesterday's Sakar Murli, if you say, Baba emphasized so much on churning. He said, right? He said, one who is healthy will churn. One who doesn't churn means, Baba said, that means you're not healthy. So it's so important. Any Murli, Sakar Murli or Avyakt Murli, any word which, touches you, which comes in front of the screen of your mind, just take up that word and churn on that word. Go into the depth of that point. So key word when you remember, because many students have this complaint that they don't remember the Murli. When they listen to it in the class, very good. Later on, daytime, evening time, it's all gone. So even if you don't remember the entire Murli, if you just take up one keyword, with that you will remember the entire Murli. In which what context Baba talked about this. So, ek ke baad ek, like a flow chart, everything comes up. Then you can revise the entire Murli in that way. So taking up a keyword also helps us a lot in this way. And the next one is to Google Brahma Baba's life. I like this method a lot. And if you remember, one of the Murlis Baba said, Baba ki जीवन को देखते रहो और अपने जीवन को देखते रहो. Keep comparing your life with Baba's life. Keep Googling Baba's life. And then check and change accordingly. Check what Baba would do in such and such situation. I remember a few days back, I had some disturbance in my thoughts due to someone's behavior. And then I had this 1 minute silence time, this alarm ringing in my phone, and I sat down in silence. And I realized my thoughts are not going in the right direction. And then immediately I could change, because I remembered, what would Baba do? Baba never saw the present, right? Baba would always see the complete form of each and every soul. Baba always saw the positive side. There's one very nice experience that I had heard in one of the classes. There was one brother who created a lot of disturbance in the center where he was, and did disservice as well. So the sisters were going to Madhuban, the sister in charge of that center. And then brother insisted that I also want to go to Madhuban. So that sister was not so much in favor of taking him to Madhuban, but he didn't listen and he still went to Madhuban. And just when he was in Madhuban, he saw those sisters coming out from Baba's room. Sakar Baba, Brahma Baba was in the corporeal form. And that brother saw these two sisters coming out from Baba's room. And then he assumed they might have complained to Baba regarding me and so and so. And then he went to Baba's room. He sat in front of Baba. He saw Baba. Baba gave him drishti. And immediately that brother realized what mistake he's doing. And he started crying and started asking for forgiveness. That Baba, these sisters might have complained you regarding me. I know I do this disservice. I do like that. And then Baba said, no, child, you're a very serviceable child. You're Baba's serviceable child. This became a blessing for that soul. And really after that, in that experience it was shared, that brother started to do so much service that he really became Baba's true serviceable child. So what I mean to say here is, you see what kind of drishti Baba had towards everyone. There are many such experiences, right? One person came to harm Baba, but then he had the divine vision from Baba. He saw the light. He didn't see the body, he just saw the light. And then he surrendered to Baba. He asked for forgiveness to Baba. So such experiences, how did Baba become like this? So such small situations that come in front of us every day, because big situations usually don't disturb us. We are very courageous at those times and we face those situations. But small things like someone's behavior, or especially in relationships, it happens. You tend to get disturbed, or you tend to create thoughts which are not so good for that soul. So this technique, check Baba's life, see what Baba did, how Baba did, and then read and listen to the Yagya stories. Nowadays, there are so many classes on YouTube, but I personally feel when you read Baba's stories, when you read Dadi's experiences with Sakar Baba, that really helps a lot, because Baba lived and taught us to live, right? He just didn't say, do this, aise karo, vaise karo, nahi. He did that and he taught us to do that. So that is why keep on checking what Baba did. What would Baba do in such situation? One Avyakt Murli Baba said, follow Father means what thoughts Baba had, I should have those thoughts. What words Baba spoke, I should speak those words. What actions Baba's were, similar should be my actions. So how will you do that? You need to check what Baba did, how Baba did. And Baba says, Brahma Baba is such an experienced soul. All kinds of experiences Baba had in his life. So that is why Baba tells us, and that is why he is an example in front of us. So see what Baba would do and then do accordingly. Or else if you are having any particular thought, or what feeling you have in your heart, just sit and check, is this right? Is this what Baba would do? Is this according to Baba's Srimad? If yes, continue. If no, change immediately, right? So this Googling Baba's life helps us a lot in making our stage alaukik as Baba did, right? And then the next technique is the last one, sit in front of the pictures. This is the most easiest one to do. and very nice. You'll enjoy this technique. Why I've mentioned this technique here? Because even in the Avyakt Murlis, Baba has talked about this, that like I've mentioned here, 25th November 2000, Avyakt Murli, Baba said, every Brahmin soul at the center or at home has kept many pictures of the Father. Wherever you look, there are only pictures, whether of the Avyakt Father or of Father Brahma. It is good. Seeing the picture, you should be receiving inspiration. And then Baba mentioned in this Murli that photocopy, make a photocopy. You sit in front of Baba's picture, Sakar Baba's picture, and make a photocopy. Because you will experience this, right? Whenever you see Baba's picture, you'll have some inspiration. Whenever you see Brahma Baba, you remember Shiv Baba. Why? Because Brahma Baba was in Shiv Baba's remembrance, constantly. So this image, if you see on the screen, would you like to share? Anyone would like to share? What do you feel when you see this image? Some inspiration you take from the picture, right? You can, when you see the picture, you feel this quality Baba had. Baba aise the, right? So looking at the picture, you can see, Baba had so much love for animals also. So he was so loving. He had that drishti of, equality towards everyone. Baba's drishti was so alokik, easy and loving. Right? If you see, Baba is working with the sisters there in one picture. So as I said, Baba did everything and then taught children how to do it. He didn't just give directions to them. And he was so egoless. He didn't have that, that consciousness of the body, that, or maybe that he is the chariot of God. No. But then with children, he would work equally. You must have heard that experience, right? Once Baba was washing clothes, he was doing his laundry, and suddenly one person came to meet Baba, and that person later on, they came to know he was from the anti-party, and he had come with an intention to harm Baba. But then Baba was washing clothes and he saw Baba and he could just see light and nothing else. Baba's drishti, he saw Baba and then he had that vision of light and light, nothing else. And then he fell down to Baba's feet and he started asking for forgiveness. So how did Baba make this stage, right? Baba, one thing I was feeling that Baba's life was totally alokik, right? He surrendered to Shiv Baba. Whatever he did was seva, was alokik, was God's task, right? But even in that alokik work he did, he made his stage alokik, right? And sometimes what happens with us is, even if we are doing alokik work, we are doing some seva, maybe through the words, through our actions, whatever way, we tend to come into the consciousness of the lokik, right? And so, or whatever, expecting praise from others, appreciation from others. So we come into that feeling of lokikta even while doing alokik work. So to follow Father, one important dharana, what Baba's words was, he made his stage alokik. He made his drishti alokik, right? So to make our stage like Brahma Baba's stage, I think these few techniques will help us. And out of all these, again, I would say awareness is the most important thing, right? When you are in the awareness, it comes into your action. So these few methods you can follow and move ahead on this journey. And this one is the most important thing, that simply pay repeated attention. Attention is the key of our efforts, right? Baba sometimes says, just say, if the guard goes off to sleep, Maya will enter the door, right? So attention is our guard. Attention is the key. Most important thing, if you pay attention to yourself, to your thoughts, to your stage of mind, then you can do everything. So to follow whatever method you like and adopt or practically implement what Baba says in the Murli or what Brahma Baba did in his life, just pay attention to yourself and do it, right? So this is all I had to share with you all today. So we are all on a journey to follow Father. I would like to take up this as the homework. No compulsion, but just a suggestion and your choice whether to do it or not. So one question you need to ask yourself: how do I see myself or stay a step ahead in this journey of becoming equal to the Father? See yourself in that form. Like Baba says, no, apne sampurna swarup ko dekho. No? See your complete form. See your complete form, right? So, okay, complete form to baad mein aayega, aage chal ke aayega. Lekin just the next step. No? How do you want yourself to be? What stage you want to be in? So just reflect upon this question, that how do I see myself in the next step? For example, I see myself as a very stable person. Whatever happens, I am stable. I am at peace. I am calm. Let anyone do anything. I'll remain uninfluenced, unaffected from others' behavior. If I take up this point for myself, I see myself very stable. Then the second question you need to ask yourself is, one small change that I will make as an effort towards it. Or what effort you will make to you see yourself in that form in the next step. So if I want to remain stable, come what may, then the effort I will make now is to become a detached observer. Every now and then, or maybe every hour, 1 minute, or at every traffic control, practice this, become detached and see everything from a distance. See yourself, see this body from a distance, see others from a distance. So practice being detached observer. So this is just an example I give. What it could, of course, everyone will have a different goal. But what I mean to say here is short-term goals help us to do that easily, right? And the third thing to take up as the homework, I had this thought that today is 28th November, right? So 29th November to 18th January, it makes 51 days. And even in the Lokik world, this figure has importance, right? Just if it is 11, 21, 51, 108. So 51 also. So we can practice this to write as Brahma Baba did. Make time for yourself and write whatever self-respect you want. I am a soul, and also with the name of any two relationships you have. Those two relationships should be the ones you come in contact a lot, जिनके साथ आप रहते हो, बार-बार संपर्क में आते हो. So two people with their names you can write. Like if I take for myself, Sharmila is a soul. ठीक है? In this way, for yourself you should write, and for two other people, because Baba did this practice, right? And this helped Baba to make his drishti, make his attitude alokik, soul conscious. This was a basic purushart that Baba did. So this is a suggestion that we can write this for not for 51 days, for 21 days. But then I was just seeing the calendar and I realized that 18th January, we are towards the end of November, and until 18th January, it makes 51 days. So why not write it for 51 days? So if we start from tomorrow, we can do that. You can write it for 21 times or whatever number of times you like, 10 times, 20 times, 21 times. Decide for yourself and write. And see what difference it makes in your attitude, in your drishti. in your bhavna, right? So this we need to experiment and see what Baba did. Does this work for me? Even towards that relationship, towards that bodily being, does my attitude change? My vision change? So this practice. So just let us sit in silence for 1 minute or 2 minutes now and reflect on this first question first, and then later on you all can share. Okay. Om Shanti. Let's sit in silence and ask yourself, as I move ahead on this journey of becoming equal to the Father, I affirm within myself to follow Father. And so on this journey, how do I see myself a step ahead? What form, what stage would you like for yourself? And see yourself in that form. See yourself as if you've already attained that stage. Om Shanti. Anyone would like to share anything?
Om Shanti Sharmila Ben. In continuation to what you said, even today's Avyakt Murli that we're reading at the center also speaks about bringing awareness of self-respect and giving self-respect. Samman doge to samman milega. And there Baba speaks about, when I have self-respect, with the self-respect, if I see the other soul, okay, is when giving is receiving. So that's the same continuation of how to follow Father is being seen in today's Avyakt Murli as well, which we'll be reading at the center. So the point of practice that that I'm going to be taking for myself is writing down what I as a soul, as a point of Swaman for the next 21 days. And also, as you had given the homework, of looking at two souls in which with whom I'll get connected, or I get connected on a daily basis, to practice that in writing. So this is a simple technique that I would want to take forward for moving forward in my journey of being following Father. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
Thank you very much, Baba, and thank you, sister, for nicely, presenting practical ways in a PowerPoint style. Because it sometimes is also important to have this kind of a direction when we are churning. Because sometimes when we are only reading the Murlis, we may not be able to focus everything collectively, wholesomely, which has come out very beautifully in your PowerPoint. So thank you very much. And I love the exercise of 51 days. I think it's a great idea. And it's a good thing to, while we meditate and pray, but to keep having practical ways to actually implement it. Only then we'll move ahead in our journey. So thank you for those nice pictures and the nice depiction. Om Shanti.
Thank you, sister.
Om Shanti. It was really nice. I really enjoyed it. And with the description of all the pictures and the way you guys presented it, it's so nice. And I can really understand a lot more than sometimes I can understand from the Murli perspective. So I would really appreciate if, once in a while we can do something like that. And that will help me really, a lot, rather than just, reading the Murlis. So again, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Om Shanti.
Okay. Anyone else would like to share? So you all will do the homework.
I plan to do it, Shanta, sister.
So do I. So do I.
Yes, sister.
And this is a very nicely put across, Sharmila, Ben, that 51 days practice from now until 18th of January.
Even
think
I
that,
was not knowing that, but suddenly I looked at the calendar and it exactly came up to 51 days.
yeah.
And we've done this practice few years back, like writing that I am a soul, and take two names from your family or with whoever you stay, and then so and so is a soul. So like Baba said, no, like Baba wrote, Narayan is a soul, Jashoda is a soul. For his Lokik wife, for his Lokik children, he did that, right? So for a Lokik relationship, if we do that, because what I observe or what I feel is to see others as soul is very easy, and we do practice that, seeing others as soul. But with the ones with whom we stay, to our relationships, our friends, that time we forget most of the time. So if you take up their names and write, maybe every day you take two different names and write, that practice will really help a lot.
Om Shanti.
And I will do it too.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. Om Shanti. Can I speak?
Yes, yes.
Om Shanti, sister. Thank you very much. The 51 days idea is very good. And that I must, which really helpful for me, is to implement the good relations and for our good relations, building the good relations. So this one. And the second is visualization technique. That was churning the point that I like very much. I will miss, you have given a wonderful practicing tool. Oh, that was wonderful. Om Shanti. Thank you, sister.
Sharmila, there is a question that Hansa Ben is asking. What will be the most appropriate time to write?
I think any time that suits you, it is suggested that you do early morning or else before you go to sleep, right? You know, no, what is the reason for that? Your subconscious mind has the most maximum grasping capacity at that time. So early morning or else before you go to sleep. These are the two times that are suggested mostly. But I think throughout the day, whenever you get time, you write. Even some people take up this practice in a way that they do it every day at the same time. That is also very beneficial, doing it every day at the same time. But suppose if you really have a hectic schedule and you busy routine, then you can do as it suits you. Okay. Okay, let's meditate now. Let's remember Baba. Om Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sister, for sharing this live. Apurva.
Om Shanti, sister. Thank you so much.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, Sharmila Ben, for this wonderful session. Let's imbibe those practices that you've brought in, and we shall meet tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you.